Hey guys. And he was kind of beating all around the bush, and he said the reason was because really the person he has back home is his fin dom, and that she finally, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
But there's applying it, and then there's the actual action.
Right.
Like when you discipline a child. You tell
Keep going. And then when we do it, you gotta say, scissor me, daddy, like that. All right.
No, you know.
This is
Different.
not the fucking thing to do. Like,
I think that's normal.
I got you, like, buddy. I can't help her.
Minutes later, I see a pizza slide under my door. No contact. Like, I'm good.
You see the pizza slide under the door with the hands, and your fucking hands slam down on top of it and grab it.
We have an initial physical type of what we like to see initially, because our eye is always drawn to something. I can see a tall guy, big and broad shoulders, and I'm like, ooh, nice. But if he talks to me, I'm gonna be like, maybe not. Okay, so Mike, until we get the rest of the guys in, do you want to start with your first question for us ladies? First of all, are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. First things first, what is happening?
All right. Okay, so we here. We made it back. Let me make sure I ain't on mute. I ain't on mute. Nothing.
You're not on mute. We can hear you.
Listen, we are good. We ready to go. We got we got questions. This podcast is back. I know it's been like the end of 3 weeks.
We missed one.
Two.
How two?
Remember your week and then my week.
I didn't have a week.
Yes, you did. You was basically you were sick.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I was also sick. My bad.
We both didn't have. We had 2 weeks back to back. So we back. We're back. What it is. We apologize. I know I gotta be on schedule next time. That is partially my fault, so I apologize for that. But while we are here, how have you been feeling? How have you been doing? Like, you're all good?
Yes. It took me a little bit, but it was too, Butterfly. I forgot. I forgot that I was sick. It took me a bit. I told you, Mike, a long time ago, my MO when I'm sick is I'm gonna lose my voice. Right. And it never fails. It's that, and then it was the yucky congestion kind of sick.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't cute.
Now I can just imagine. I'm sitting there, I was like, oh, her voice is shot. She most likely got that little scratchy thing going on. Like
it
that
never ever fails.
So, I'm glad that we okay. So that's the biggest part.
What about you? How are you feeling?
I was good. I'm just I wasn't sick or nothing like that. I just was going through it a little bit. Little mental parts of things. It was just not a fun time at that current day.
We all sometimes need to take a mental break.
Yeah.
It is completely understandable.
Yeah. I ran low on some things. And I was like, fuck. So much other stuff that you got to take care of in your life. So many different things. I'm not too happy with a family member of mine. Yeah. I don't like people.
Thank you.
If I had to tell you, I think it's more or less like when people borrow money from you and all this other crap and then give it back to you, it's like
no, I get it.
And then it's like your own family, you're close, I'm gonna say super duper close, but just family. It's like it's never fun.
It'd be your own people.
It really be your own people. So yeah. But it was just it wasn't a fun time mentally. That's really what it was. So shit like this happens and it is what it is. So but yeah. All right.
Hi, Carol.
What's going on?
Welcome back, everybody.
Brother? What's up? All right, I'm gonna try my best to moderate and do all the other stuff. Operate from this phone. I'm actually going to do this more often. I like the computer, but I think it's just that act of sitting still. I can move around a little bit more with the phone. I don't have to have this pressed up against me. You can hear me clear. Like that's the thing. So
yeah.
But so today's topic. Well, remember, y'all know, share it out to people, like, follow, do all the stuff. Make sure y'all following us. on all the platforms. Make sure you follow me on all the platforms. Make sure you follow Basic on her platforms, all right here. But yes, today's topic, we are discussing something that I looked at. We wanted to do this weeks ago, but I felt as though, okay, now it's time for us to start talking and have this conversation.
Yeah.
At least to our best of our abilities, because there's some things about this particular conversation that really just throws me off. And it's crazy because it's almost like as this podcast started building more, I feel like I'm glad that I didn't do it at that time.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm glad that I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Let me explain why. So let's get to the point of the topic. So I was looking at a post that was posted. I don't know the person's name. I was actually getting advice from Beaver Barkus and others, like kind of telling me, hey, don't display them on your platform. That gives it more attention. That has people go to the person and go look at the person and everything.
True.
Cool. Granted, I understand and I agree. Give me 1 second. Let me make sure my phone's on Do Not Disturb. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. So, so this particular person had put like, they had put down, they had said, they told Black women that they are doing themselves a disservice just exclusively dating Black men, right? Just exclusively dating Black men. I know people don't understand the problem with that, and they don't. From me, and I understand like from other people's perspective, this particular individual has a lot of other different topics, but all I can do is go to based off of what I've seen.
Yeah.
Right. So this person, basically said that Black women should not exclusively date Black men. That this is the reason why. Now that part right there threw me all the way off when you gave me the reasons why. This is no way fashion directed towards anybody of the gay community, anything like that. And this is coming from men that are queer and stuff, that told me, or I'm sorry, individuals that are queer that told me that it's like, how are you as a gay Black man telling women to not date Black men? Okay. And then you're giving these statistics and these reasons. So I think you've seen it, Basic. I think I sent it to you. Your statistics and reasonings didn't have no real following behind it. So it was like you didn't throw the references. You base it off of, okay, these are the people that you talk to. You might be a therapist and stuff, and based off of your experiences with them, right, this is the reason why. But I'm like, how many of those people do you know? That's my biggest thing. I'm like, how many people do you actually know?
Chaz wants to know if we can see the video. Hi, Chaz.
I don't have it on here just for the purpose of putting. I'm gonna try to put it on here. Y'all might see my screen. I might turn my screen off for a quick second just to get that going. If you really want the Chaz, I will get my best. I will do my best to get that video on here. Chaz, let me know if you want to come up to have conversation too. I would love to have that opinion fact. I would love to have it. I know a lot of y'all guys need more time and more preparation, but it's like it was just supposed to be me and Basic just talking. But if you do want to come up, let me know. I will send it in. Just type it in here that you want to come up so I can see it, because I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. But once I'm done talking about this, I'll let Basic have her side of saying things because she's seen the video too. So for me personally, me seeing this, like, if you are a person that are dating or wanting to be in relationships and you feel as though this isn't working for you, it's not working for you. You're the individual it's not working for. Yeah. Like, I know sometimes people need more convincing, more wanting to know, more of this, more of that. But I feel like, why just go for Black women in particular and say, hey, Black women, you can't be successful just dating Black men. Like, what is the other races? Like, what do they get out of that? Like, do we tell, do other races go and say, hey, don't date this person, don't date white, don't date Asian, don't date Indian, don't date Mexican or Latino and any other race of the Latino community, don't date anyone else, try to date outside of that. I've never heard them actually say that. I'm not saying that, then this is all my experience. Now, I'm not saying that this to be true or not true or whatever the case is. but I just never heard it actually be said.
Yeah.
And I felt as though for a black gay man to tell black women not to do it, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you do that? So this is why I wanted to have a conversation, because I could be wrong in how I feel about it, but I know I'm having this feeling. Like, I get, we all go through problems or whatever the case is, but what am I to do with that as my 12-year-old daughter is getting older? Do I say, hey, don't date a man that looks like your father?
Right.
Don't date a man that looks like your uncles and your friends and anybody else that you know that is black or anything like that. But it's like, and I get it, like, there's benefits to dating anyone, but it's like, it was the numbers that was given. So I'm gonna do my best to put that video up, and basically you may take the reins. I have literally talked for almost 10 minutes. Whoa.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah. Mike almost talked for a full 10 minutes. That's crazy. That's crazy work. But I will be coming off camera. Go ahead. I can still hear you.
Okay, go ahead. So Carell had a comment. No, in fact, other races specifically only want to remain insular. At best, non-white, non-black people will aspire to dating white people, but almost never black.
I'm coming back for that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hey.
I was going to say, hold on.
He has another one, yeah.
Instill pride in her blackness. Oh, that's what he's telling for your reference for your question about what you do with your daughter. His response was instill pride in her blackness and the idea that only dating white if and only if there is a financial benefit to doing so.
No.
That's what I live.
I know you did. This is listen, that's one of my good friends. I love that person to death. Carell's so dope. Like, but no, Carell, hell no. Like, I'll be back.
I was just gonna say, sort of to piggyback off of what you were saying, and also what I said earlier, y'all, it be your own people. It's us. Like let me preface it with this. I am all for people finding love wherever they may find love and with whatever race. I'm Puerto Rican and black. I have all different races within my family. I am all for interracial dating. If it works for you and you find love and that's where you find love, then yes. I think the problem comes in where we actively try to discourage other people within our own race to not date us. Like, how do we say we are not the ones? And it happens with women too. I watched one today, as a matter of fact. Not even watched it, just like saw it, sat for a few seconds and like tolerated it. But I saw today, in fact, and plenty of other times, there are constantly lives where people are talking about the benefits of not dating black women and why black men should seek for love outside of their race. And it's always about how black women are difficult and every possible negative like stereotype and trope that you can aim at black women was being projected by black men, encouraging them to date outside their race because they would not be able to find happiness with black women. It was sad and disgusting. Like sad and disgusting. Like if you should happen to find love outside of your race, okay, fine. But to preach that people of your own color, of your own race, of your own ethnicity, background, that to say that we should stray away from one another is so sick and disheartening to me. This don't even deserve a thumbs up. Like
no, it's very anti-black.
It was so disheartening. Like it happens all the time. And it's almost as if, I don't want to say it's just social media, but I think social media definitely has helped to push it. It's almost as if there's an agenda to destroy the idea of black love and the black home. And like I said, you can find love wherever you want to find love, but to discourage people from finding love within your own race, within people who have who have lived similar experiences in life and love, and to not find beauty in people who we share a likeness is crazy to me. It's honestly sick. Let me go through some of the comments. Carol Thomas, can't date white and be broke. You doing it wrong. That's so funny. Butterfly, it really be your own people. So do you know how many black men I've seen, and not just black men, I'm sure there's black women who do the same thing.
I'm still here, basically.
How many black men I have witnessed hold full-fledged lives that were all about bashing black women? Terrifying. Anti-blackness because we need to lighten the family, soften the hair, be financially stable, etc. Oh, yes, all purity, anti-blackness. You know, it's funny. Basic, I went to Black Love event in HRC in DC when Blackbird was released, and everyone on the panel was black, talking about the importance of black love. But we're dating whites. Wow. But here's the thing. I don't think that it is impossible to date outside of your race and still not appreciate the importance of black love. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I don't think you can be like, just because I'm not dating someone within my race that I don't understand the importance of it. Maybe that's not who you found, but you know what I mean? I think we need to heal the connection between black men and women. Some black men feel women of other races are better, therefore they treat them better and than they would a black woman. I agree. We're going to circle back around to that. I agree with that.
You want to start that comment? What's up, Vanity?
Yes. Wait, how do you start
the comment? I did. I'm on top of it.
Okay, you were saying out of integrity, you think they should. I can understand that. I'll just say this. Like I said, I'm a biracial woman. I have family members who are also biracial. But within that, the importance of black love is often stressed within our family. Like, we understand who we are. We're still black, even though we are of mixed race. Yeah. And so understanding that you can, you may have found love with someone else, the importance of stressing why black love is important. I just don't feel like you can say one doesn't. It would be like saying because someone found love outside, they didn't wish they had found it within their own race. Maybe that's just not who they found. Maybe they did want to have someone within their race, but that's not who they ended up with. That's not who they ended up loving. I think it becomes a problem and there's toxicity when you exclusively say, I'm not going to date within my race and I don't want to, and my preference is other races. And I don't find any value of dating within my race. It says, I understand the importance of doing it for you. As for me and my home, I mean, I get it. I understand what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree, but I get your point of view. I do. And some black women feel like a man of another race will treat them better, so they give them more trust and respect than they would. I agree with that too. I do. I 100%. I think that, and I don't know where it came from. I don't know if it's rooted in what we see in social media. I don't know if it's propaganda or what we see on TV, or it's from experiences or hurt people projecting and putting out a false narrative of what black love looks like, because it's specific to their own personal experiences. But like to hear a black man say that a woman of another race will treat him better because they will honor him and like be more submissive is disheartening to me. Yes, there are certain level of cultural circumstances that black women go through that make us respond to different things differently than other races. They haven't dealt with the same sort of issues that we have. So of course their responses and the way they handle their relationships are different. But to say that it's all negative is wild to me. Okay. You know what I mean? And the same thing for women. I think we can have that same sort of mentality sometimes. Black women can also have that same mentality where you think because you've been hurt by black men before, then that means that all black men are bad, and you have to now I have to go outside of my race to find someone that I want. And I think when it's that mentality and that's the motivation behind it, that's when it becomes super dangerous.
It does. Yeah, because and can I say this real quick? I didn't get the video. Basically, if you can find it and like share it on your screen, because you know you can do that too. You can actually share your screen with everybody. So, or we can hear it. Let's hear it. I'll post up the picture and show y'all the numbers and stuff that this person was talking about. And after that, then we'll listen to it, and then we'll get it going. But to kind of throw it in there, the dangerous part about it is like letting someone come in that probably doesn't really understand you and your life. Understand your lifestyle, understand. And sometimes I think as people, we bring people into our lives. And my thing is, when you bring people into your life that isn't of your background, isn't of your lifestyle, isn't of what you grew up being around, the tricky part behind that is that even though it doesn't really matter, it does. When you bring them around family, when you bring them around people that never lived that life, can't really understand it either. So now you got a lot of talk, you got a lot of explaining to do. You got a lot of this to do. You got a lot of that to do. Now let's look at the other side and say you dating a white person, Asian person, whatever it is. Are they going to be completely accepting and understanding of you? And will those standards kick in? Will they look at how you grew up and then base it off of that? Now, granted, you can live your life and do it, but not everybody is built like that. Not everybody's not built to be introverts, and not everybody's built to be wolves like that just sit by themselves and they can do it with them and their partner. Some people really love their family and really value their family. So it's hard to, it's hard to, I know he said I'll jump into a meeting. I'll see you when you get back. But some people have to, he went in with these comments, but some people have to explain a lot of things. And maybe for some people, history of what happened to us in the past isn't, and then they hear your reasons like, oh well, black men were just doing me dirty 24/7. Sometimes you might have to date outside of the community that you're in. If you dating in your neighborhoods, you dating local people that might know you a little bit more, you might have to step away from that, because a lot of people have trauma and stuff that comes from their childhood, obviously, and the stuff that they've that's happened in their childhood, and they're growing up, and when you're growing up, you get fed up with a lot of things. My thing is it okay for me to say, I don't want to date more black women because I keep having problems with y'all? Or do I want to say, oh, I just love everybody. I want to give, I want to try, I just want to, date, okay, I'll date this person. I'll date that person. I'll date that person. Like, can I say that and be okay? Like, as opposed to, well, black women get on my nerves, because that's an argument right now. Right. That'll be an argument.
I agree. I feel like also I know that I'm trying to find the appropriate way to say this because I don't want to sound offensive. I feel like in previous generations, there was a lot of self-hate for what we look like, who we are. And because of that, there was a tendency, a natural inclination to want to
use the big words,
reverse all of the things that make us who we are as Black people, right? Whether it be skin lightening, whether it be straightening our hair, whether it be any of those things. And also to a degree, idolizing any other race that wasn't us.
Right.
And sometimes that can also be passed down from one generation to the next, especially depending on what you hear your mother and father, grandfather say, and those insecurities can be passed on to you and, to your family. And also, if you're insecure about how you look or how you've been treated, all of those things can exist to make you feel a way about who you are. And that some sort of, self-hate can be apparent in what you think is the ideal of what you want to date and who you want to be and what you want your family to look like, right?
Right.
I have witnessed people who have wanted to and who purposely date outside their race because that to them is the prize, right? That to them gave them more social status. It made them feel better about themselves. They saw the benefit of lighter children and good hair. I will say this also because I grew up seeing that a lot. It did also make me feel slightly self-conscious about myself. Like, I didn't want people to think that I thought I was better than them because I had a lighter complexion, because my father was Hispanic, because I grew up mostly around my Black family and identify mostly as Black more so than I do Hispanic. I've never grown up around any of my Hispanic family. I know that I am Hispanic, of course, but I have never grown up around them. And so in my eyes, Black was what was beautiful, right? Mm-hmm. Even though my father was Hispanic, most of the family that I grew up with were beautiful Black men and women. And so that's what I thought was beautiful. Like, that's what I wanted. And I thought was beautiful because that's what I grew up, seeing. I thought, I luckily did grow up in a lot of really, good family structures and around good people in my family. And so that is what my ideal was of what I wanted. I do have a preference of dating Black men. Have I dated white men before? Yes. Mm-hmm. But is my preference and what I would love to be with Black men? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've experienced dating a white man before. It wasn't like it was horrific, but it just wasn't, there's a difference than finding someone who identifies with you in a different type of way, right?
Right.
I have family members, close family members who have married outside of their race. Mm-hmm. But have also dated all races. So I think that's why I just see it from all. I think the terrifying part to me is I've seen it from all different perspectives. I've seen people who have found people outside of their race just because that's just what they happen to stumble upon. I've seen people who I know have actively sought it because they thought that it was better. And VW had a point. Like, it is.
You want to put it back up? The last comment or the one before?
Yes.
I don't know if you read the last one.
Yes, there's actually a lot of comments that VW actually put that I think are worth putting back up because they all make really great points. But watching people treat people of other races better than they treat their own race is also extremely offensive. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I can only speak as a woman. Watching Black men think that people of other races were better than Black women and put them on a different type of pedestal is an icky thing to watch. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's because it's the root of it. Like, it's because you think that we are less than.
Right.
There's, you know what I mean? It's kind of, it makes you feel sort of infuriated that was your prize. It does not always happen that way. I don't see all interracial dating that way. I don't think that's how it happens all the time, but I know that it does. That does exist. I think it also happens the same way with women. I've seen women who have actively sought out men of opposite races because they thought that there was a certain level of, I don't want to say prestige, but like,
it is.
You feel like you doing something because you hierarchy, somebody of a different
all that
race.
Stuff. Yes, it is what it is.
Because it's us. Like, we put our own race down, and that it's the saddest thing ever. And like I said, for me, coming from a family of like a very multicultural family, all throughout my family, immediate family, close family, I can see like the beauty in finding love in general with whoever you want to be. But when you look down at your own people because of the way we look, because you think people of other races like deserve more respect or have more status or make you look better, that right there is sickening.
That's the part right there. That's always going to be the part for me. Granted, there are a lot of people that aren't making hundreds of thousands a year, and that's the part right there. It's about the money talk. It's not a lot of people making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, right? Yeah. So when my defense come in, obviously with black people, let's post a picture real quick. Let's put that up there so everyone can see what I'm talking about. My position in this is, and do you have a video to play?
I do have it, yeah.
All right, you want to run back at the same time? You're just going to put it up to the... You're going to put it up there?
Oh, yeah, so they can hear it?
Yeah. Okay. All right, just so everybody here. Chaz, if you're here, Chaz,
hey, I'm over here. My name's Anwar. I'm a dating coach for Black women. And so often I hear about Black women who are just focused on dating Black men. And I wanted to break down the numbers because I was an undergrad statistics major. So I look up at love quantitatively and qualitatively. So I wanted to break it down to let you know how difficult you are making your love life be just by focusing on Black men. Okay? So for every 100 men, 13% of those men are Black. So you have 13 men out of 100. Now, 80% of those guys are not going to be ready for a relationship. That's across the board. Any color of guy, they're just not going to be ready if they're single. Yeah, so we go from 13 to 3. Now, if we take into account unemployment, underemployment, gay, and in prison, you are looking at 2 out of every 100 men, 2 Black men out of every 100 men that are going to be bare minimum available for a relationship. So that's 1 out of 50, okay? 1 out of 50. Now, I want to talk about the talented 10th qualities that so many of you all are looking at, right? He's got to be 6 feet or taller. He's got to have a graduate degree, 6 figures. When you have that criteria, you are looking at 1 out of every 250 men, okay? Now, if you just look at everybody, right, and you do the same math, same statistics, 1 out of every 7 guys is ready for a relationship. So if you're focusing on just Black guys, bare minimum, it's 7 times harder. If you are focused on the talented 10th, you are making it 35 times harder to get your guy. We get to do it easier. And if you want to learn how to do this well, girl, you better talk to me. Now, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to keep on making love hard, girl, by all means, it's your love life. Get your life. There are non-Black men checking for you, and you get to make this love life thing much easier by opening and widening your net and just focusing on the men that are going to treat you the best.
All right, we can stop it.
What color they are. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments.
Okay.
All right, Chaz, you here? Okay, you hear that, Chaz, right? Let me know if you want to come up. I will send it to you. So, I'm leaving a picture up there for that reason. My problem, once again, is, am I on the right side? Should I be doing it this way? Okay. That one right there, that comment in yellow, right there, that little shit in yellow. That's my biggest issue with the shit in yellow. All of it is a major problem to me. But how you broke these numbers down and dwindled it down to, listen, if you want this guy, it's only 1 out of 50 people. So you're basically saying 49 other Black men don't have none of those qualities right there. They have none of that. They're not 6 foot. They're not making 6 figures. They don't have a graduate degree.
I think his statistics are coming out from a pool of men in general, not just Black men.
No, that pool, that was in general, but he's saying that the general thing is only 1 out of all the men. There's only 1 Black man that meets that quality. That's what he said. I made sure I listened to that particular situation every single time. I wanted to hear that and that and that too. It was damn near crazy for me to listen to it.
Right.
Where it was like, how it's too much. Like, all right, it's too much, bro. You're doing too much. That's what that was. And that's the thing. I'm like, let's do Mike now. Yes, I'm putting myself out there. I'm going to put myself in that position. I don't make 6 figures. I'm very close to it, right? Very close to it. I don't have a graduate degree, but I'm 6 foot or taller.
Right.
You're telling me that I'm not worth none of that right there. Mike ain't worth none of that. No, he's not worth that. 6 figures is 100 plus a year. Let's look at 100 plus a year now. Is that enough to make a person happy? Because I never hear $100,000 anymore. I never hear that. You know what I hear? In my personal talks to people, I hear the other one, $200,000. You know why? Because we also know how inflation has worked and how it's played. Yo, what's going on? Tapping on Kevin. What's going on? So I hear that story right there. Who is making $200,000 a year? Just like that.
Yeah.
How many people exist on this planet that do not make 200 plus a year? You're basically putting that statistic out there is basically telling people, listen, black motherfuckers is broke. Don't do it. In that particular category.
I do hear you what you're saying. I think and I could be wrong in the way I'm interpreting it, because I think I heard it differently. What I do think is problematic is I do think the way he has posed the way he posed a lot of his phrasing seemed problematic, but I think what from what I heard was, if you're narrowing it down to you just want to find these specifics, if you're narrowing it down to just one race, you are less likely to find all of the criteria that you want, these specific criteria, by saying it's within just one, narrowing your choices within just one race. But if you opened it up to multiple races, you may be more likely to find the things that you want. Not saying don't just date black men, but being open to opening your options within other races to find that one specific thing that you're looking for. Because if you're only picking from one pool, you are less likely to find the one thing that you're wanting. I think that's what he was trying to say. And not saying that that's right or wrong.
Completely understand.
That's how I interpreted what he was saying.
So, and that's okay. Like, what your interpretation of it is. What I hear is, girl, you sure you want to do this? Right. That's what I hear.
I get it.
That's what Mike hears. Yeah. Mike hears you are doing everything in your power to convince her not to date me. That's what I hear. You are doing everything in your power. And guess what? People eat it up because they will target people who think that this is what you actually need. This is actually what should work. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
I read the comments, and then there are points where people. She said, "I agree." What's up, Deanna? No, that's not for this part in particular. Like, I'll tell you, we'll get back to it in a second. So, my thing is, we get it. Like I said, I get it. If you are telling people, if a person knows to date outside their race, you already know that, right? Yeah. You already know you can date outside your race. Why do you need somebody to tell you and convince you, hey, yo, look, it's something wrong with dating these black men?
Yeah.
And then give these statistics on that shit. I'm sorry, statistics on that shit. I'm mirrored, so I'm over here. But you're giving statistics on all this right here.
Yeah.
What makes the conversation a certain way for me, because now you'll get the reverse happen. You'll start finding the men that will reverse that shit, and now it's the women's side of things and why someone should not date women, black women. Are we in agreement to that at that point? Are we going to be sitting here in agreement of that?
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, if the black man, this is the conversation that only we have. That's the biggest part of it. Us black people are the only ones that are sitting here fighting on why we should date and not date each other.
Right. No, I agree. You're not going to hear that from other races. You're not going to hear other races go on a whole like diatribe about why dating within our race is problematic. They don't do that. They don't talk about why dating within their race is problematic and why people should go outside. Like, even if they do, you're not going to hear them have a whole, like, they're not going to go on this whole campaign. And I think for me, that is why I find it's the way you pose the issue to me that can be problematic, right?
Yeah.
There, for women, for a long time, it was I saw a lot on TikTok. There were lots of TikToks that was like, go where you're loved, like telling Black women to go where they're loved, right? And while I get the premise underneath of what they're trying to say, that you should date whoever loves you, it is the way that it is worded and perpetrated that is troubling. It's like saying, you're not loved here, so now go somewhere else. Obviously, we need to go to whoever appreciates us and loves us, regardless of who they are and what they look like, right? If they appreciate us and love us, obviously. But if you push the agenda to make it seem like you're not going to find that love here, so you need to go somewhere else, or it's better, your life is better because you did go somewhere else and find love somewhere else, or like it's impossible to find love within the Black community, I think that is when you're starting to walk on that's when it's starting to walk on like tricky water. Like you're telling people, it's
all the way wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah,
it's wrong. You're right. It's wrong.
Tapping no cap. We said this earlier. It be your own people. It really like I said that real, like it be your own people. It's us. It is us. I get, like, obviously we all know that we have to, if we find love, no matter where it is, someone who appreciates us, yes, embrace it, no matter where it's coming from. Someone who appreciates, loves, and respects you and treats you well, wherever it's coming from. Of course, if you're happy there, then be happy.
Right.
But to push the agenda that we need to be dating outside of our race to have that happiness is where it's problematic.
Yeah. And even
with the passport bros. Have you heard of you have to have heard of the passport bros, like the guys who are like,
to go over the seas.
They go overseas to find women because they're more submissive and they don't give them as much trouble or more fuss, and they're finding love overseas, and so they're getting passports to find love out of the country because the women here in the country are too problematic, too difficult, too opinionated, too strong-minded.
You just pulled the conversation out of my mind, because that was going to be around what I was doing next was, we're sitting here listening to a person and say their statistics and stuff. Am I completely denouncing him? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that this is not a good conversation to have for people that you feel as though are this. How many people? My thing is, I think that we don't understand how big this fucking world is because we live in our spaces, right? We live in what this is for. We see it, but we don't live in other people's spaces every single day. If you're inner city, your results is probably going to be this. If you're out of the city, your results is going to probably be this. If you grew up in a certain neighborhood, a certain lifestyle, your results is probably going to be this. There are people who grew up around, other races. Chances are they will choose other races because of what they grew up around. Some people once you get out of this, I feel like if you want to have a conversation around humanity, that's an easier conversation as opposed to saying you're not going to be successful dating Black people, because statistics shows 85% of the people that are married stay married that are Black, right? They're still married. 95% of the people that are making $200,000 a year, the Black man, with a woman, they're married. We're not talking about that's your boyfriend, girlfriend. They're married. 95% of the people are married. So you can't judge that number because you don't know how many people are actually married and together. You only know based off of what you know. We know our experiences, and that's it. I keep saying that experiences is not law. That is not, yes, I'm quoting Kendrick because that's a fucking dope ass way to say it. Your experiences is not law. It's valid for you. But does not mean that everybody now becomes your statistics. We live in statistics, and I get it, but we also try to live in our experience to say that this is our experience that makes it just like this. I'm gonna give you an example, right? Today, I was having a conversation with a person on this wrestling group that I'm a part of, right? And this guy posted up a picture of a woman named Bianca Belair, the wrestler. Put and coined it flat chested. That's what he said on his post. Flat chested. He posted this beautiful picture of this woman just to trash her. And then I said, so you're bullying this woman for what? because you don't like her chest is flat, or not what you agree a woman's chest should be, or whatever the case is. So this is how you choose to do it now, right? This is how we're going to judge this woman, because you want to use her chest as an example, as if she was born with those genetics to have big, enormous boobs for your liking, right? Like she that's not her life. That's not what happened with her life. So this is how you want to now judge her. And I said something about it. Oh, this is a weird fucking post. You know, obviously I know that weird word bothers people. He told me to he said, shut you bitch ass up, right? So, you know, of course, I'm going to quote him just the way he wrote it. I didn't, you know, I don't get mad at shit like that. I don't stuff, people, cyberbullies and people that's on internet don't do nothing to me. He looked like he weighed about 110. He had a head like fucking Megamind. I'm like, yo, if I slapped you, I'm probably going to go to jail for just making you flip a few times and actually hurting yourself. Like, get out of here with that shit. So I just ignored it, but I laughed at it because now you're saying things. And he realized he couldn't take the heat because he kept getting more and more aggressive with me. And this what makes the conversation of this black men versus black women happen, because it was a lot of men in there defending that shit. And they was like, yo, you wild, yo, you just, she shouldn't have to have boobs for you to be wanting to like her, do this and that. That's her body. And, you know, there was a lot of defense in there. And I told him, I said, listen, I'm sorry that I would rather defend somebody than to sit back. I know she don't need my defense, but at the end of the day, I don't want to look at this shit. I don't want to come here. I want to see you wear hair for a black wrestling group. Wear hair for that. I'm not here to sit here and watch you try to put me down as a man and call me fickle and call me all this other shit because I told you you're trash on your response. Right?
Yeah.
But now that you do shit like that, this is what can make conversations like this happen. People don't feel like your own fucking people, your own black men love you or care for you because they rather worry about what you don't have than worry about what you do have. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to speak. Man, fuck him. He works at Amazon. He does the Amazon thing. At any point, you can get fired at Amazon. And guess what? Whatever money you making, you back to broke status, right? So now you feel as though you can sit here and you don't even probably meet none of these qualifications. I'm about to let you get to these comments. I know you read. You don't even meet none of these qualifications possibly that's even on this list. But you out here telling a black woman that she need to grow some boobs and get her toenails done. This conversation we're gonna always have this conversation until and I'm listen, I'm willing to go out there and say you're fucking wrong and you said some bullshit out your mouth. I'm willing to do that. And every fucking time I see it, I'm gonna say it. I don't give a fuck what you got coming back to me, because if it's just full of anger and high air, I ain't paying you no attention. But every time you post some bullshit, I'm gonna be there to tell you. You post some bullshit. As long as I gotta sit in this motherfucker and look at it.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead, basic. I know you gotta get at these comments. Go ahead.
No, we got some good ones.
Go ahead. You can throw them up. Pick the ones you want.
There's a method to the madness. Watching Pop the Balloon content and interviews taking on the street for this subject, we harshly judge each other on a metric most of the population doesn't grade on. He said, sorry. Oops, I'm scrolling. Sorry if that's long-winded, but I think our overwhelming... We're overwhelmingly convinced by propaganda and the internet. It's an agenda with music and all, and we're taking the bait. I agree. I kind of said this a little bit earlier, or alluded to it a little bit earlier. The way social media, and not only just social media, but media in general, gives us these false perceptions of what is supposed to be beautiful, what is supposed to be successful.
Right.
Hey, Serena, what is supposed to be
Serena.
Give you social status and make you feel good. We look to these things, and especially we have our younger people looking to these things and having all these false ideals of what success looks like and what beauty looks like. And what happiness looks like and fulfillment looks like. And we put ourselves on this rubric, and now we're all over judging ourselves, right? Not only that, we did have a period of time, and it could even be seen in music videos, where darker skinned women or Black women in general were not being put in music videos. It was more ethnic Hispanic women, like women
anybody
with
had lighter skin,
right?
Yeah.
And so that was what was idealized as what was beautiful and what everybody should try to attain to either be or want to have. We were putting out and pumping out this false narrative of what beauty is supposed to be and what's supposed to be desirable, and it will in turn make people not only feel like they're not worthy or beautiful, but that they have to seek outside of what they look like and what normal Black people look like to find beauty and fulfillment, right? Mm-hmm. Women felt like they should be lighter, felt like we need to have bigger butts, straighter hair, longer hair, like all that stuff. Right. Because that's what we're seeing in the media, and the media was portraying that as beautiful. Same thing for men. It came to that was the ideal of what was supposed to be beautiful and what you should want your woman to look like. So you stop looking at women with more natural hair or dark skinned, or you know what I mean, are built a certain way if they don't look like a model status. And it is more so seen with us all the time than it is with other races. And so we tend to judge our own people more harshly than other races judge themselves. They see, you know what I mean? We're always looking for the 100%. Opposite of what we look like because it's being pumped in social media or in the media or on music videos that beauty looks a certain way, and it does not directly reflect what we actually look like. Yeah. And we have to sort of be able to put ourselves back in spaces where we're celebrating in our natural, state in who we are, and that there's beauty being shown in that. So we can learn to appreciate it all over again. And we have to do that for our children. Yeah. Because if we just leave it to the TV to teach them what is supposed to be beautiful, we're not going to see us.
Yeah, we're not going to see us. We're not going to, oh my God.
So we're going to look to other things for beauty. And for happiness, because that is what we see on TV is what's portrayed as beautiful and what makes people happy. And we have to do our job and our due diligence as parents, as uncles, as aunts, as friends to like reinstill what it actually should look like and what it could be. And that we are beautiful. And it doesn't mean that like we can't find love anywhere else. It doesn't mean that doesn't exist. But we have to learn how to reappreciate ourselves and see ourselves as beautiful. BW was saying, as a culture, I'm sorry, Mike. Did you want to say something?
No. I was going to say something, but we're going to keep her comment right there. Hold on, Vanity. We got you. Mm-hmm. So let's look at this, right? What is the thing? What is one of the things that they're trying to take out of the books right now when Trumpiana go into office? What are they trying to take out? They're trying to actually, one of the biggest things they're trying to take out is the teachings of Black history. And what I mean by the slavery, because I don't know if he believes that it's actually real or not, but I think they're trying to prove something behind it. But it's like white history has sat here forever, and never been taken out of these books. They just recently started possibly taking Columbus and all these other people out of the books because they realized that too many people know the truth behind him.
Yeah.
And exactly, I'm basing it off of what you were saying as far as how how we teach our culture. Like, yes, my daughter has a lot of white friends. She has some of her best friends are white, Filipino, Asian community. A lot of she has Black friends. She has all of them. And do my daughter still know what she is and who she is? And I think I had a point in time where she was actually complimenting people that were white, and she was saying like how beautiful they were and how this and how that. And I had to stop it and say, "Yo, I want you to know that about yourself too. Don't ever think that this is the only standard of beauty." She started looking at a lot of white influencers, and I would see her on TikTok making fan pages of a particular white girl. Do I have an issue with it? No, because I want my daughter to just be as free as she wants, but I want her to also understand, hey, don't just pick this because you think this is the standard of beauty.
Right.
This is not just the standard of beauty. Like, you're a Black girl, you represent your mother and your father and everyone else that's in your family. You are a representation of what we all look like.
Yeah.
You don't look like her. You'll never look like her. She don't look like you, and she'll never look like you.
Right.
But don't ever, and I always teach her, like, don't ever believe because somebody say you're not. I get it. There's always a constant struggle with the battles of how you feel about yourself. I'm not the best with compliments. When people compliment me, I get weird about them. Maybe it's just from the person that I wanted to be from, and that's probably what it is. But when I get weary with compliments. But I want her to understand, like, dog, listen, kid, chances are you're going to grow up to be extremely beautiful. Not just regular beautiful, like you're a kid right now. But chances are you're going to be more into yourself, taking care of yourself a certain way, and then you'll have 100,000 followers for no reason at all. You know, like that's how the world is. But I don't want you to feel like you're not beautiful. And then you're going to have to, and I haven't told her this part yet, but I'm like, you're going to have the battle of your skin complexion versus the next person's skin complexion. You already know that's one of my biggest triggers is the skin complexion fight. But I deal with it because I know how to. But this young girl who never did anything to nobody now has to sit in positions of a possible privilege-based situation that people will throw on her.
Right.
Go ahead. You get to the comment.
Oh no, I was gonna just to piggyback. I remember piggyback off of what you said. I remember my daughter was in pre-K.
Okay.
We lived in a town that was predominantly white. I grew up in the same town, and she went to school there too, from pre-K on up until 6th grade. And I remember Lola. I started school there in middle school, but Lola had been going to school there. She did a duration from pre-K to middle school. The difference was that I had I was fortunate enough that my first years of school were on a military base, and so it was full of mixed race, right?
Yeah.
But she was coming into it in a predominantly white town where she was going to be 1 or 2, maybe 3 if she was lucky.
We'll get to our comments in a second, y'all. We're going to leave it up there, Vanny. We're going to bring it back down. Go ahead.
Okay. So she was like, I knew she was going to be either 1, 2, possibly 3 Black kids. One of possibly 3 Black kids in her class, because that's just how, that's how the numbers went, right? And I remember in pre-K, she had told me, she had looked at this one little girl and she was like, oh, I wish I had hair like hers. And I was like, what do you mean? And at first she was like, oh, well, I like her bangs. And I was like, well, we could do bangs. And she was like, no, but
it looks better on her, possibly.
I like her blonde hair.
Yeah.
And it was immediately a trigger point for me because I never wanted her to want to be anything outside of her. And I had to make a conscious decision that every time we did little things, like me doing her hair in the morning or like getting her dressed for school, I would compliment her on all of the things that made her uniquely her. And also because she was being a young Black woman, like it would be talking about how beautiful the fullness of her lips were, or how beautiful her curly hair was and how beautiful her complexion was, like constantly doing that where she didn't really know what I was doing, but it was giving her a confidence and hearing me tell her that and tell her like how beautiful I thought she was, or telling her like how she should be so proud to have all of the little attributes that she had that made her uniquely her. How wonderful that was, so that when she looked in the mirror, she saw beauty. And somehow, just I guess luckily, it stuck, because I remember like when it got about around to like 3rd or 4th grade, I remember her saying to me that she didn't want to be anybody outside of who she was. Like she just knowing that she loved what she looked like and she didn't want to be anybody else, and she didn't see anything else as more beautiful, meant that maybe I did something right. And I think that's kind of like what we have to do as parents, as aunts, as friends, as uncles. We have to start reminding our young people just how wonderful we actually are. But we're battling against social media. We're battling against the media that are portraying us, painting us in a light that we aren't desirable.
Right.
And so we have to do our due diligence to try to reverse that.
Right.
In our homes. Because if all we let them see is what they see when they scroll through Instagram, or what they see in magazines, or what they see on TV and in music videos or whatever, if we let that be the thing that sets the precedence for them, they are always going to be working against the grain.
Got you. Damn. Okay. Look, I do my little break thing. We at our hour point. We reached 1 hour. It don't even feel like we reached 1 hour.
It doesn't.
But I post up I like to do my funny little videos. That's probably more funny to me than there's other people. I really don't give a shit, but I just do it just give us a break. So, we coming right to Vanity's comments. As soon as we come back from this, if anybody is still in here, make sure that y'all are liking, following, and sharing our content to everyone.
Right. Tell a friend and tell a friend.
Yes, this is an important conversation.
Marcus said, don't take no break.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even know you was in there, Mark. Son gun.
Marcus snuck it in. Don't take no break.
We always take that little minute and some change in there. But B for Barkis, what's going on? I know we took enough of a break. 2 weeks worth. But we're going to get to these comments in a second. Serena, we're getting to you. Vanity, getting to you. Marcus, if you have anything to write, if you want to come in on the conversation. Thank you. Make sure that they are following the content. You know what I mean? Don't just watch it. Just follow that joint. Subscribe to us. Our goal, we working it. We got over 2 something, so we need to get to where we need to be. And that's the goal right now. We're pushing. We chugging and we chugging and we chugging. But like I said, just make sure that y'all are telling people about it, because this is a good conversation that we're having. Everybody has different perspectives, different views on it. Some people are way more vast and educated with this particular topic, where they can kind of go into things where it doesn't look nothing like that, how that person said it. Just to me, I will never agree with something like that and feel like I need to have a conversation with that person, because I have to break too much stuff down. And chances are that person has already reached whatever it is for them.
Right.
What's being said. He said follow with his whole chest.
Yeah, you said follow with your whole chest.
With the whole chest. But me and Basic going to come down for a quick second. I can imagine she probably going to go get some snacks. If y'all come back and see me with a cookie in my mouth, I don't give a fuck. I want this cookie back. Surprised. Yeah, I hope not, because I'm coming back with this cookie. Hold on.
Let me know your butt.
Oh my God!
Just rapping a little, bro.
Big black Australorp cockerel, one of 500 birds that are being judged today at the show. Gonna get sticky.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Nina Joyner. I own a retail business called Fillmore. And
what's it called? Give a plug to yourself.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
It's a sex shop in Oakland called Fillmore. I got you.
Sorry, Reverend.
I'm not to toot my horn with this, but the one massive compliment I give to myself is I love feeling like I'm an angel on earth.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
You like feeling like what?
I'm an angel on earth.
When judgment comes for you, what you gonna do when it ain't nowhere to hide?
On earth.
Judgment comes for you, 'cause it's gonna come for you.
All right, we back.
Marcus's video will forever be hilarious.
I bet. I thought this was a baby face beat at first.
Marcus said they thought that was a baby face beat at first.
No, it was a Mike Hennessy song. That's what it was. Yes, I make music. Funny as hell. But you said that video will forever be funny. I get it.
So funny. So
all right, so we're back with our second half of our show.
I'm gonna jump back into
yes, we are going right back to Vanity as she posts this. But go ahead, take it away.
She's saying, as a culture, we need to do better at loving and respecting each other out loud. I could not agree with that more. We see and hear more about Black love and being Black love being hard and hurtful than we see it being safe. So we look where it's represented as safe and loving. That couldn't be more true. And partially it's kind of like what I was saying, like we have to be more vigilant about praising ourselves and Black people, Black women, Black men, Black love, Black homes, Black families, we have to be more vigilant about praising ourselves out loud than we are about tearing each other down. Because if there's one thing we can do is that we can be overly critical. We can talk about all of the things that are difficult, all of the things that are hard, all the things that hurt us. And honestly, it's all of that stuff is coming from a place of hurt. Personal experiences, not only that, but like just from what the media and certain agendas place on us to make us hate ourselves. We have to be even more vigilant, even more diligent about expressing love for ourselves and talking about the beauty that exists within our community. We have to do that. We have to be just as not only as exemplary, but we have to be just as vocal about what we love as we are about what we hate. We have to find appreciation and value in ourselves. And that's half the battle. Like if we don't appreciate and value ourselves, of course we're getting on here talking, putting us down. Like it's terrifying because whenever I see that, I automatically think you have to hate yourself.
Right.
Like to get on here, whether it be a man or a woman, to get on the internet and to speak so negatively about your own people, you have to some degree, hate yourself or have been hurt. And it has to come from some bitterness, because if you can't find any beauty within your own people and with your own reflection, what you look at in the mirror, it says a lot about your psyche. So we have to be like, for those of us that are not struggling with that, we have to push it even harder, the value that exists within our own community.
So let me put myself out there for a second, right? We talked about this before. It was a while ago. But I was in that same position where I felt as though Black women did not love me. Because of it was this one I learned it was just choices in what I was picking. I felt as though, once again, it was the light skin thing. I wasn't like everybody else. Me being from Philadelphia and talking the way that I do, people were like, "Are you sure you're from Philly? You don't talk like you're from Philly." I'm not saying that those are things, but when you're the person experiencing all the things, it was like, well, I got to be a little bit more hood. I got to be a little bit more this, or I got to be a little bit more that. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, wasn't these the same things that you had problems with? Like, why?
Right.
Why would you want me to be this if this is what you even have a problem with? And it's like, you want link? Okay. Can you send it to Mark?
What am I sending?
Oh, he wants to come in. Yeah. They want to come in. But those were the things that I was potentially dealing with for myself in particular. For me, I was dealing with that portion of it. And I remember saying this, I don't know who I said this to, was like, I feel like I should just date outside my race because I feel like, I don't know if Black women like me like that. because I'm not like what everybody need and everybody want. And my approach to that was it was wrong. It was very skewed. It was all the things, but it was just based off of my experience. You know, it was just based off of the fact that my experience shouldn't make me say I don't want black women because they don't want me. My experience should just say, okay, I'm having a difficult time with just dating overall, period.
Right.
I can't blame black women for this or for that. Maybe I wasn't doing a particular thing right, that I'm thinking that it's them and not me. I don't mind being on the vulnerable one. Oh, I got a thumbs up because I'm using my phone now. Wow.
Yay, it's not just me now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what I walked into. So hold on.
Okay. Marcus, I'll send it to your TikTok. Hold on.
That's what he just posted. That's why I just put it up there.
Okay. It's hard to hear.
We're going back to something too.
Okay, it's hard as a dark-skinned man that Mike had my experience when the world tells you men like Mike are the go-to preference. Isn't it interesting that it exists on both? That's when you ends of the spectrum.
Thank you that you had that experience, because now it's like, oh shit. You would think somebody like me would absorb all this attention, like, oh, I get all the women. Hell no. I really, really don't. I think people overrate the situation. I do think that I have qualities of me that is not just a physical appearance of me. Granted, you might not have seen somebody who looked like me, and that's the problem that I can have too. I have so many problems. Like I got so many problems. Basically, like it's ridiculous. Like I have the problem of I look like everybody else. So, freckle face, red hair, tall, ginger guy. I like this. And then you don't like it. Like, that's the problem I have too, because I'm like, okay, but I'm still a fucking nerd. I'm still a geek. I'm still this. I'm still that. I still have my little mental issues with me. I have my thing where if things are bothering me too much, I want to step the fuck away from people. Like, that's a thing for me. I don't just walk around and just sit on a fucking pedestal like a trophy or something and just be like, you know, I don't have nothing with me. Like, I got some shit with me. Like, it happens. So yes, I do have those experiences, but it's different. You know, our experience is very much different, but they exist the same way. But go ahead. I know you were going back to other comments and stuff.
I was going to go back to Serena's comment. Yeah. She said she grew up thinking that no black men liked dark-skinned women based on how those around her treated them and herself. I mean, it took years to unlearn that. I get that. I can only imagine what it's like to grow up in an environment where you feel underappreciated and then having to unlearn that experience.
Yeah.
And unlearn that, yes, you can be appreciated, and yes, that people will value you and see you as beautiful.
Right. What's up?
Oh, Marcus?
I don't even know. I don't know what's up right now. In my mind. I just woke up like 20 minutes ago.
That's what's up. Yeah, they were working
double. I worked a double last night, so
into today. Yeah, last night today.
Yeah, I went in
off like
11 p.m. and then got off at 3 p.m. Whatever. If y'all ain't gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. Y'all want to talk about like the problems in our community and stuff like that. We got to call out and combat white supremacy a whole lot more than what we are doing now. Like,
you missed it a long time ago. We was definitely calling. Basic was going in on that shit. So
why that ain't the focal point of like what's happening now? Do you see how much do you see how fucking self-loathing or queer phobic, homophobic this goddamn community of ours is? Like,
yeah,
no, you're right.
Like the 100%. Standards, like the standards in beauty and stuff is like it stems from white supremacy. Like like all that shit. It's all entangled. It's all woven. It's all deep seated. It's just a fucking mess.
I 100% agree with you, but I also feel like in that we also have to take responsibility for the part that we are not playing, right? We have to take, like, you are right 100%, but they're not going to change it. So we have to change it. And we have to take responsibility for our own self-loathing and what we put out there, especially when we are repeating the propaganda that's being pumped into us.
Oh, I'm not talking about like holding white people accountable. I'm talking about holding ourselves accountable for how much we cling to it.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this. Tapping or Captain said, basically, you said on a different episode, you never had an issue dating or attracting men. Did you ever get annoyed / angry with men who choose you over your dark-skinned friends?
I didn't. Okay, so I think it might be slightly different. I think there was a point in my life when I was younger that I felt like people were choosing me because of the way that I looked. My skin tone, and because I looked different. When I first moved to my hometown, like I said, it was predominantly white, and there weren't a lot of mixed, like half Hispanic, half black girls that was walking around in my school. And so I was the thing to look at for a bit. And I remember, like,
were they brown skin? The girls were the women were brown skin. Okay,
brown skin girls.
Yeah.
And I remember it made me feel icky. Like it made me feel weird because I didn't feel like it didn't, like, I felt like they liked me for the weirdest reason. It didn't make me feel appreciated. It was like, now I feel really awkward because you're putting me on this weird like pedestal because
and you start feeling that comparison come through. Have they had that moment where they started comparing you, like where they're telling
so light skin right now?
What?
That sounds so light skin. I peep with the one whoever just commented, because I can't see the chat. Oh yeah, wait. Oh no, yeah, I can't see the chats now.
Talking about VW?
Yeah, and they were talking about
colorism.
Yeah, they were talking about like colorism. You were talking about like your woes, and within the context of the conversation, and you was just talking. You referenced that Kendrick line. Your personal experience ain't trumping systemic issue. And I think that was part of what they were pointing at in what you were talking about with your personal experiences. Sure. Like, yeah, you're gonna have some things that are gonna feel like kind of shitty, but the overall, like in the context of like society as a whole and the systems that we have at play and stuff, you got some privileges here.
No, 100%.
Yeah, but we understand that. That's the part.
That's I think what he's talking about in that particular conversation that he was talking about from before. I was talking about the privilege that was given to me because of the way that I looked.
Yeah, we acknowledged that a long time ago.
100% existed. Like, I knew that was a thing.
So this don't sound like a woe as me light skin conversation to y'all.
I mean, I see how it can.
Yeah.
But I have to acknowledge that, like, he asked a specific question, so I have to answer a specific question. Like, I have to acknowledge that, yes, that was a thing. I did 100% feel weird. It also made it even more difficult when, because of that, other brown-skinned women felt like I thought I was better than them because it definitely exists where I get that my privilege 100% existed there. But I can also acknowledge that privilege did make me feel.
And that's the same thing.
Like, it's a weird thing to know that existed and that it was not something that I was asking for. Like, it happened. And yes, there was plenty of privilege because of the way that I looked. I acknowledge that. It was just also awkward to be in that space. And also to have people feel like, who thought that I thought I was better because of the way that I looked.
Right. And I think that like, and you know this, when I used to be with my cousin Ray, he would use me as a pawn to talk to women. And he would say it all the time. I guess that's really a lot of big, because when I was younger doing that, 16, 17 years old, and he like, Mike, you talk to them. They're not going to look at me. I'm ugly. That's what he used to say. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And I'm like, you talk to women all the time. You did. But it was like, I didn't know that was being pushed on me. I had no clue at all. I never paid attention to it. I just was always just who I was. I was always a super friendly person, super this, super that. And yes, I did talk to people, but I didn't know that's the reason why. I didn't know that until I got older. That, I was being utilized like this because of this reason. I didn't realize that until I got older. And then I would feel offended by it because I didn't understand it. I would feel offended when you would say, well, Mike, you got privilege. Mike, you got this. I'm like, what the fuck y'all talking about? Like, I don't. But then I started realizing as I'm getting older, this is what it is. it's height, it's fucking looks, it's all these different things that I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, fuck these things. But I'm like, but at the same time, I can't do nothing about it. I have to understand that this is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm never not acknowledging that, yes, sometimes people will look at me a little bit more than, you know, they will look at. I've been in conversations where people have tried me and I wanted to say some shit to them. And then that's when I knew it from that point too. Oh shit, Mike, you had the option to say that shit to somebody. Mentally, I thought that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could have told you, yo, you don't even look better than me right now. Like, I could have said some shit like that. But then if I would have said that, I would have fed right into everything. I had to understand that this person is going through it in their own way. They already have their own issues. They already are projecting a lot of shit on me that they already feel about particular people. What do I do now? And that's one thing I don't do no more. I would have an argument with somebody, but I'm never going to have like this particular type of argument where I'm going to have a pissing contest with you or dicking or whatever contest, you know, like, oh, well, my girl looks better than your girl. And the girls, I'm not doing none of that shit. Nah, what the fuck am I doing that for? I am now realizing what type of conversation I'm having with this person.
Mm-hmm.
So I now start doing different things. I start conversing a little differently with you now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call out particular things and I'm going to keep it right back where it needs to be. Like, I think I was telling you about the guy I was arguing with earlier that was talking about Bianca Belair having flat chest. I literally wrote in his thing and I kept it consistent, bro. No matter what you're doing, no matter what you're saying, you can flip out, call me this, call me that. At the end of the day, you are bullying this woman. You're doing a lot of misogyny in here. You look at your comments that you're saying on other fucking people's posts and saying, oh, this is, you know, oh, I would like her better if she had bigger boobs. And I've said, look at what you're saying, and then come back to this conversation. You can say whatever you want. You can call me soft, you can call me fickle, you can call me whatever you want to call me. But overall, this is what you're doing. Because if I would have took a different path and started raging out like most people in comments will do, then I'm going to be wrong at some point.
Right.
So, but that's just me understanding it. Like, everything that you're saying, Mark, completely understand, because this is what it is. You've told me this plenty of times. So it's nothing I can do too much about, but acknowledge it, but also still say I'm not comfortable with it at the same time too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to be comfortable with it. As much as I could be convinced, oh, well, this is just, no, I'm not comfortable with it. And I'm doing everything in my power to say, hey, I am doing everything to not just utilize looks and utilize this and utilize that as a form of getting my women or getting my friends or getting these people to sit around me and talk to me, because it ain't just about the women that you attract. It could be your friend circles too. Oh, he's this, he's that. So they cannot kind of latch on to you because of that too. I pay attention to all that shit. Are you latching on to me because you feel as though when we go out that women will come around because I'm there? I've done it all. Now I'm really paying people attention.
Yeah, there's there's definitely a lot that can be done. I don't think that you should look at it like, hey, like there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
You know, what's the quote? Angela Davis said it's
not
Posey. It's not enough
hello.
She said it's not enough in a racist society to simply not be racist.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and so when you look at and I say take that with all forms of privilege, whether you're able-bodied, whether you're cisgendered, you know, whether you're white, you know, like take it's there's always more that you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of like some of the times I like there's so much that's going on in life, period, for us to be having this men versus women battle or this and that. And it's like, I guess for me, I'm like, there's people who don't have options to even have this. There's some people that are dealing with life situations that they can never be in this position to even have these battles with people, you know? Like, I really pay attention to like, okay, so like not even to throw like the like people that are handicapped, they need love and everything too. They need everything. But it's like we're fighting over black versus white. We're fighting over black people trying to push us a certain way, but it's like we're not fighting to love each other overall. You know, like
the reason why that stuff is perpetuated so much is because it makes money.
Yeah, big time.
We live in a capitalist system. Everything is done for profit.
Yeah.
And we live in a racist society. So things
Mhm.
that are going to be anti-black are going to make a lot of money. And that's why
Yeah.
it's pushed so much. And
Yeah.
people don't understand the symbiotic relationship that they have with it, because like, you know, we see this content and stuff that comes out, and people will like stitch the videos on their TikToks and stuff like that and like argue with
Excuse
it.
me.
I'm like, that you are serving the purpose of the content. It's
Yeah.
rage baiting you. Your
Right.
engagement with it is propagating it,
Mhm.
even
Mhm.
if you're trying to combat it. You know, like
Mhm.
it's a tough fucking you know, it's weird. It's a hard fought battle in
Yeah.
ways. But people just have to
I'm gonna
decide
go
a
to the
little bit
bathroom real
better
quick,
with
y'all.
what they're like actually engaging with, and why. Because there's a lot of things that like you don't need to put it on the radar, or
Right.
you can have conversations about it that don't involve you platforming the damn thing. You know, like,
Right. And you see that a lot, like especially heavily like in places like spaces like TikTok. Like if we're gonna hold a whole 3, 4, 5 hour live that is the regurgitation of like this sort of this way of thinking, whether we're trying to, it's all under the scope of we're trying to like have a healthy conversation, but no, we're just pumping that agenda back out there to people and keeping the conversation going and talking about it and allowing people to come in and like I watched today specifically. This guy was he does these lives all the time. Like that's kind of his thing on TikTok, where he'll pick something that is specific to it's specific to our race, but it's always in a way that is we are looked at in a negative way. And he poses it in a way where he's trying to figure out if this is how we really think. But I feel like there's so much more harm done within the live than there is good. Like they pose it under the like they're trying to have like an open dialogue.
right.
But the dialogue is very negative. Not only that, but we're putting the message back out there and plastering it. And now we have 3,000 people in here who were all looking at this post that was already like a negative reflection of us and our people and how people like view us.
Yeah.
And it's like, and not only that, but now we're holding a conversation where we're all at each other's necks anyway. So it doesn't help it at all.
No.
Yeah.
And you see it constantly.
Yeah. And I guess did y'all pull up Vanity's comment?
Oh no, we need to go back to
Oh, we're going back.
Yeah,
Okay.
Vanity's comment.
She has a new one, but you want to go back to the colorism one, right? This one?
Yes.
Okay.
She
Okay.
said we have so much colorism in the Black community. I think people become their own oppressors. True.
Yeah, I think I always default to the idea that until proven otherwise, people will sit in their privilege. You know, so if even, you know, if you're a Black man, the seat of privilege that I am expecting you to sit in until proven otherwise is being a man. You know, Black woman, same thing, able-bodied, you know, like or cisgendered, you know, and it's not to say that like people not acknowledging or combating that things want to be their oppressors, but it's really an indictment of the systems at which we live under. And the fight needs to be well more like focused there. A lot more focus needs to be put there.
We're at again. I'm sorry. Can you say that one time?
As systemic and cultural things that produce the population, that produce the things that we don't desire. You know, the things that we don't that we don't agree with. You know, they, like they look at things
like the
you could take any
social.
I mean, any social issue. Like here in Philadelphia, we could talk about like Kensington drug addiction and homelessness. And their answer is always, you know, put more police on the streets. And it's just like that doesn't address what actually produces that population. What is producing in society that effect that we don't want? How do you can't just combat homelessness by criminalizing homeless people. That doesn't work. It's never worked. We have 60 years of data that shows that doesn't work. You know?
And there's actually, and there's like you said, to looking down upon homelessness because of them being homeless themselves. And it's like, yo, some people are trying to survive, and when they're trying to survive, they're going to steal from the store. They're going to probably steal from you or steal from this. And it's like, yeah, it's criminalized because, oh, you just committed a crime. So it just now is a reason to lock you up now and put you in the system and now make you a number that's going to feed these people, you know, like, and make them richer because now you're just a number to them.
I don't give a fuck. People, if you want to walk in that Wawa and steal some chips or whatever, go ahead. I don't care. When you look at the amount of, say, wage theft that happens in the U.S., like the theft and criminal activity that happens in white collar arenas destabilize the economy. Stealing from Wawa don't do that shit. like stealing from Wawa didn't cause the economy to crash in 2009.
Not even a little bit.
That was white collar shit.
And that insured as money. That insured as money that's sitting there that's been insured 5 times over. I got you, bro. That money that's secured, that's sitting there 5 times over, it's been insured. They're not losing out nothing on that money. They paid for that and they've got money back for that. So it's like now they just want to profit again off of it. Like that's all that is. Obviously, you know how the stores work. I've heard, but yeah, the homeless thing. That's a conversation and then like next year is a big goal for me when it comes to this. I made my goals now. This is what stuff that I want to do. I want to start doing feeding homeless people, not just on Thanksgiving and what's name, but also talk to people. I have a person that I'm talking to now, but just feeding people and trying to create more content around that. Like I think that's the lane I want to start taking, is like how I can potentially just help people. That's just I need to start going based off of what I'm saying that I do. Like if I care, I need to start caring overall for everybody. I want to actually get more into like I'm going to find a program to get into that I can do more talking to youth and getting with kids and stuff like that and talking to them. I really want to do that. Like that's something that's always been a goal of mine. I do want to invest whenever you're ready. I want to create something around kids being able to come play video games and have fun, like, and host events at a spot that I go to that are trying to work with me with the game and stuff because they want to get that going, but bring little tournaments to game for kids and stuff, where we can now have the kids come and have some fun, but also teach them while they're there about language if they're using it, about respecting each other, about competition, how it can be fun and not just looked at as somebody need to be yelling and screaming at you just to make sure that you do what they need you to do on the field or on this or that, but just, you know, really showing them like, you know, competition can be fun, it can be healthy, it can be all these things. And that's something that I want to do too. And it's like, you know, and I want to do that not just with boys, I want to do that with girls too, with young girls, like everybody, because everybody's into everything. I think another one of the realms, and kind of what Marcus is talking about, is the realms of the gaming community. Women always get like attacked in that community with men, and like this whole men versus women thing when it comes to that community too. Like women get attacked all the time. The moment they hear a woman on the game, they immediately attacking her. You don't know how to play. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that. Then she whooped their ass, and now it's a whole bigger issue. But now they want to follow her. Oh, what's your OnlyFans content? What's this? And like now you're subjected to that shit. Like because you might be an attractive woman on there, and they automatically feel like I'm gonna sexualize you now because you're okay at this game. But now I want you to be my friend because this is what I want from you now. I want to be able to look at you 24/7, dude. And yeah. Some people are profiting off a lot of things. I do have friends that have OnlyFans and all the other stuff, but like you do get them people that will do that to them. Like, and the next thing you know, it's this now is just an issue, and then you're in that community. So he said OnlyFans, yeah, you know how it is, man. You know how it is. I haven't been on people's lives, and I went to go see if they had an OnlyFans, so I know like it exists. So.
You said you've been on people's lives and went to go see if they.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Let me go check and see.
Let me go check and see. Like,
see if you
just, you know, that just, you know, that's what it was. Like,
you see the link tree?
Yeah. Right. Let me click links. Let me click the link in bio.
You don't even hesitate. You scroll. Just scroll. Scroll to the page. Stop.
if she got an OnlyFans.
See that lock?
Hold on,
See that lock link? This might be sensitive content, nigga. I know what I'm looking for.
You don't care nothing about that, right?
You know why I'm here.
This motherfucker said, I scrolled to the bottom of the page when you can't scroll no more. You ever scroll so hard the page break at the bottom?
The page fly up and recoil back because you went too far. Yeah, like blinds. That shit.
Yeah,
wow.
Bennett. Look, Bennett show right up at the perfect time said, real shit right here. Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you, as a couple of gamers, I have done that too, because I'm just looking. It's not now, but there's a couple of them. When I found that OnlyFans too, I was like, yeah, I'm here. How much per month? Let me look at my rent. Oh,
right,
shit.
$14.99. Well, that's I already got 4 other subscriptions.
Yeah, so
maybe next time, baby. Maybe next time.
Yes, and
He said chicken ain't cheating.
Chicken ain't cheating. Listen, sometimes you gotta go look.
Yeah, but I see what you're getting at. I mean, the sex work is amazing. But what you're combating is misogyny. It's just misogyny in gaming.
Yeah.
And it's misogyny in all them goddamn communities. They feel that women shouldn't be there in the first place, that they are not qualified to be in a room.
Yep.
And it's just the bullshit that stems from there.
Mm-hmm. You know what I do to listen, it is what it is. I'll tell the truth. Some of the motherfuckers I have been in spaces with, they start judging women. I'll look at them. I'm like, first of all, I wouldn't even want a woman to come sit in this room with y'all because all you niggas stink. Like, all of them be stinking. Them gamers be balling, but they'll talk the most shit about women and what I'm like, so I guess they sort of live as long if they funky like you, they smell like you, they look like you. You good with that? Like, I'm confused, man. I'm really confused.
Yeah,
that's how it be.
As much as I enjoy educating, I do think that it's necessary to be mean sometimes. Like, sometimes just take the fucking gloves off. Like, nigga, you fucking stink. You like you talking big shit. Somebody that took the bus here. Like,
and that's that part
stop
right there.
Playing, dog. I saw your last Facebook post.
Right.
Don't nobody do dollar parties no more. Just come on.
God damn, yo, I didn't think about that.
Like, you shouldn't be having conversations talking about women and what they have to offer and shit when you couldn't pay your rent last month. I don't get like where the audacity is coming from.
There's lots of audacity going around. I'm just gonna say that.
Niggas is just mad entitled. What it always comes down to me, what it feels like is like there are people, and this happens at all different intersections of privilege, but people have this idea that things are promised to them in society that they don't have to work for, that no effort has to be put into. A lot of men feel that women should be subservient and they shouldn't have to put in work. And now that they have to meet the most basic of standards, they are pissed and it's blowing a fuse in their head. And instead of like looking in on themselves like, hey, yo, maybe I should wash between my ass cheeks. Instead of having that conversation, they just say, oh, the problem is women. Oh, y'all choose otherwise. Oh, y'all don't like people like you. Right. They don't like people like you. What is you talking about? Nigga, how you have cool water fucking cologne and you don't even have Dove on your
on them nuts? Like,
last time you washed your tub, I saw that shit, man. Oh my god, your tub can't look like the walls of the Grand Canyon. That is aged soap scum on the side of your walls. Stop playing. You don't even change your sheets. Oh my god.
This is the goat right here. All right.
Them pillowcases used to be white. They look like fucking potato sacks now because you don't wash your hair in the grease.
She said it look
in.
like Vanity said cool swamp water. Oh my god.
I have a question for y'all.
Go ahead.
I have a friend.
Mm-hmm.
We were just
2
days ago. I have a friend who has a friend. It's a female. Well, I have a guy friend who has a female friend, right? She is a Black woman who was very pro. She presents herself as a very pro-Black woman. Like her hair is locked. She makes posts about how Black women, Black love, all that stuff, promoting Black people. She always talks about how like her ideal man is like a very dark skinned, very chocolatey Black man, and still has not dated a Black man in years. Does not date Black men, and typically dates, like I think right now her current boyfriend is not only like an older white man, but he also voted for Trump and told her that he voted for Trump. And we had the conversation, me and my friend, of us trying to we have been trying to figure out I think
I know the answer to that, Mark.
What's the psychology there? Like, you say that your ideal man is a dark-skinned, tall, beautiful Black man, but you never date dark-skinned, tall, beautiful Black men. So, you don't.
Can I say this real quick? And it's basically like you said, it's that money-making factor. She's using it to make money, possibly. This is how I get my following. This is how I got people to support
She's not on socials. This is in her regular personal life.
Oh fuck! All right, so that's even weirder. Mark, it's kind of like what y'all were talking about. You and Chaz was talking about yesterday. Oh my god, what was it when y'all were talking about? Remember I told you we were saying like the living color guys when they was like pro Black, but they were dumb as motherfucker. Like, not saying she's dumb, but they would. What the fuck was their name? When they was
I know you're talking about.
What do you call those? What do you call those guys again?
Like the Hotep type.
Yeah, the Hoteps. Yeah, like that's what it feels like a Hotep. Like, oh, Black love it. Like the dude off of Don't Be a Menace. Yeah. Where it was like he was talking all this stuff, preaching all this shit. Like, he was
my milk of magnesia.
Don't tap that white woman for me. Hey, yo, like you over here crazy shit.
Devil, he said the devil broke the mold.
Right. When the devil made you, he broke the mold.
Yeah, when the devil made you, he broke the mold.
She like, yo, so why you want to date them to do what they did to us for 400 years? And what's that? Fuck them.
So Tapping No Cap said it's like that for him, but your preference is not equal what you attract. Okay, I get that. And maybe help me understand, because I honestly want to understand, right?
That woman,
your preference is not what you attract, but do you ever date what your preference is? Like, do you ever date if you say that you prefer a way a certain person looks? Why is it that you don't ever date?
That should be overrated.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, I'm trying to wrestle with this in my head now too.
And I just really honestly want to understand.
Not what you attract.
You can attract the opposite, but do you ever actively? I guess the question is, do you actively seek what you
attract?
Yeah, do you actively seek with and engage with what you like?
Because in this particular instance with this young lady, she does not actively seek out Black men. She puts herself in spaces where she's only attracting, not only is she only attracting, but she's only actively seeking out a certain type of men. All of the men that she have dated have fit in a very specific mold, and that mold is the exact opposite of what she will tell friends what her ideal man is. So how have you, like, I always wonder, like, how is she never ending up with any semblance of what her ideal man looks like? Like, it's always the exact opposite of it. And I've always tried to, I honestly want to understand, like, how does it go that way? Because even if I'm not attracting my type, my eyes I'm normally going to be looking for what I'm actively seeking is my type. What I'm actually, like, what I'm looking for when I go out to meet people is my type. He may not be the exact fit and mold, but he's going to be some semblance of it because that's what I'm attracted to.
Right.
So I'm not going to date the exact opposite of what I'm attracted to.
And then exclusively date the exact opposite.
Yeah, and then exclusively only date the exact opposite of what I tell you I'm attracted to. Or always date, and also always date someone, and it's not to say that she can't date someone who is not a direct reflection of her, but she actively seeks out someone who is the exact opposite of not only her, but what she says is her ideal man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I think sometimes? When people, not necessarily what my guy Captain was saying, they'll just throw this in other places. When we have these conversations, right, and knowledge is being dropped, rather it's coming from y'all, me, whatever the case is, what do people actually adapt and learn from that? Like, do they actually take that shit and actually apply that, or they just want to just hear somebody talk? Like that's something I think about sometimes.
Well, it's really difficult to change a person's mind in just a couple.
Not changing the mind. I don't want to change the mind. If you get what I mean by just take something. What do you? I'm big on I think people laugh at me when I say this shit, and I'm gonna say it all the time. I'll say it until it makes sense. I really like to live my life like a fucking RPG. I know it sounds crazy, but I should be taking experiences and growing from them. That's how RPGs work. You're growing from this experience. You shouldn't be at level 1, and at 30, you still at level 2. Like, you should have been way past this point. I'm thinking, like, what do you take along the way? What are you grabbing to apply to yourself?
I think like we can't. I think we should never expect for what we say in here to a person to automatically change who they are.
Right.
But
Right.
at least
No, that's what I'm not. Yeah, I got you.
Take opposing point of views, or consider other ways of thought. If
That's
it's not
what
their
I'm.
own.
That's what I'm alluding to.
It's
What
like
are you
more so
taking?
just taking things into consideration and maybe evaluate, like having some self-evaluation. And it may not change who you are. And you might not want to change still, but at least you
I'm not asking
are
for the
aware
change.
that those other opinions are out there. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm not
And
asking
other
for the
point of views
person
are
to
there.
change. I'm not asking for the person to change. I'm just wondering what do you take out of the conversations? Like, what exactly do you bring with you somewhere, or say, oh, I've had this conversation with people before and they felt this way, or whatever the case. Because now you have something that you can kind of like. And I've always said, like, okay, it could be Mike that say one thing, but if other people agree and say the same thing, when are you taking that into consideration at that point right there? Like, okay, you don't have to take my word for it, but other people are saying the same thing too. You know what I mean? Like, they are now presenting the same exact. It might be different in its own different versions of it, but what exactly you take? Because I feel like life is experience. We're learning, we're growing, we're everything. So, like, when do you gain experience? Like, when do you gain something that isn't a trauma, that isn't a problem, or what, or like something? When do you gain it just from listening or learning? Because I feel like a lot of people sometimes they listen, but they don't learn.
But I think we have to be also understanding from, even if many of us have the same point of view, that might not apply to someone else's life. And we have to be okay with the fact that they might not find that applies to them. You know, they may want to take it and say, okay, you know, maybe I should consider this. But if they don't, that is perfectly fine. Like, that's okay too. Like, they hear it, they're receptive, they're listening, but we can't, even though we all have one way of thought, we can't always think that somebody's going to be like, okay, well, now I'm going to change it because like 5 of y'all said it.
Right. So like one of the things is I wouldn't even really put too much energy into thinking about like what people are doing in their heads and like how their minds are changing, and put more focus on like what it is that you're saying. Like, you know, like what it is, what am I communicating? How effectively am I communicating it? Is my language and framing for the lay person, you know, stuff like that. Another thing is when you read through profiles of people who have had like drastic changes over the course of their life and different like ideologies and stuff, and especially we have more of this documented from people that went from like alt-right to more centrist or progressive or liberal or whatever that is. It's not just that they were consuming content and like their mind changed. It's just that it was actually that they were in community with people that was there with them along the way. And a lot of people simply don't have that. We live in a highly individualistic society where the world is supposed to be carried on just your shoulders and you are supposed to be the lone wolf. And what a lot of people lack is just community. Yeah. And even if it's just like one other person that they're on this journey with, most people just cannot do it alone. Right. And there's no amount of podcasts that is going to be effectively change their mind. Things. That takes a certain level of discernment that a person already has, and chances are they wouldn't be consuming such regressive things to begin with. So yeah, it's hard. The number one thing that you'll see across the board when people talk about like their testimonies and their journey is the community that they had along the way.
Yeah, of course. And that's just me just thinking out loud more or less than saying, do I think that people that watch us in particular take something? That's not what I'm saying. I just wonder what people do overall. That just my mindset, like, I wonder if people actually grow from conversations and things they listen to over the period of their life or learn from someone. Like, how do they apply that? How do they do that? So it's more or less just my own personal thought patterns. That's really what that is. So put some of these comments up. For the same reasons Mike discussed earlier, you hear what Black women say about the type of guy they want, but in reality, those same types of men they reject. That was for something earlier, Mark.
No,
I think he was basing that on. Go ahead.
I think he was talking. He's talking about. Tappan is talking about. We were asking him why to explain like his perspective when he was saying sometimes it's not your preference, but it's what you attract. So I think he's saying in response to what we were asking. Is similar to something that you said earlier, that you can often hear that Black women say they have a type of guy, but in reality, that's the same type that in reality, it's the same type of men they reject. So they might say, I want this type of guy, but in reality, they're not actually actively seeking out that guy.
And it's like, don't miss the forest for the trees. Because like you can have when people like state their preference, and I can't stand the conversation because a lot of times it's like an obligation. It's not actually a preference. Like
you have to meet these standards.
Like a preference isn't like oh you have to be 6 feet tall. Like no, that's an obligation. Like you got to meet that. That's a criteria,
right? Because there's nothing you can do about your height. There's nothing you can do.
Preference means like you would date a short person as well. That's what preference actually is. I mean I'm not saying that that's what they think or whatever.
No, you can tell the truth about it. You can tell to give it the ultimate what people should probably really know.
Oh shit!
How that works.
I totally just lost my train of thought. What the hell were we talking about?
Preference?
Nah, right before that. The preference was a tangent. That was me going on a tangent.
Was you talking about what they wrote? What's the name wrote about Black women not rejecting men?
Oh yeah. So like like it could be a single preference is like reading a word amongst a paragraph.
Hold on, Vanity.
And so like say it's like you want somebody that makes six figures. Let's just use that as an example. Like you prefer somebody that makes six figures. And then you come across somebody that makes six figures, but they also have other things that you don't like. And then you reject that off of the other things they don't like. Like, but you can't make the claim like, oh, they made six figures, so you're rejecting the people that you prefer. Well, it's more than just that. That's what I'm saying. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Like
I agree with you so much
people are
because
complete whole packages.
You know what's funny is that somebody will say to me, well, I do this, and I'm like, well, you're also doing this, and this that I don't like. Like this, just because you might have a look, just because you might have something that I might like physically about you, you might have this that don't take away from other things. Like you might have a fucked up personality to me, and I don't like it. And I'm like, you expect me to stay with you with that shit? Like, no. Hell no. I'm fucking deucing out. You're gonna see me disappear. Thanos snap, poof, I'm gone. Like, oh, where the fuck did he go?
Like, oh,
gone.
Yeah, I make 6 figures. I dress nice. I got a decent car. Yeah, but you also refer to women as female. So it's just
damn, like, yo,
come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't even understand the significance of it. I had to learn it. I never really call women females anyway. I had my moments, yes. Throughout my lifetime, yes. But I never really did it. I never really caught. Now, I know we had conversations around women and girls, but like it's more or less like I never really did that part, but I understand like the problem with it and the demeaning things that can go with that, and you know, speaking on what somebody's gender is as opposed to, you know, who you are as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's another conversation. I know women that have stopped you dead in tracks. Like, yeah, I knew one person actually. Who was it? I can't remember, but they said that they stopped talking to a person in the conversation when they were having an in-depth conversation, and he was like, "Well, you know, females," and the moment he said that, she was like, "Yeah, I think I'm done with this conversation with you."
Hey, I think what people don't understand, a lot of people that try to combat that and stuff like that, is that it's not just the use of the word females to women. It's what that is indicative of.
Mm-hmm.
And like that is just a red flag to a whole host of other things. It's just like it's like the little pin that sticks up out the ground out of a landmine. You know, like
this one. We know you back now. Shit. All right. I'm gonna get to vanities and then we're gonna run through these comments because we ain't got that much time. So go ahead, you got it, basically.
She was saying, I think in response to Mike, I think this is what you were saying earlier about how you think people take with the conversation. Her response was, I think this is a great thought-provoking space, which will first help you to even understand how you feel about things that you never thought that deep into. So it's just like, maybe I never even thought about this before, but now that we're having the conversation, I get to reflect on it and see like how I feel.
That's even why I mentioned it. That's thank you for doing that. Thank you for bringing that up, Randy. In my experience, although I love chocolate women, light skin and mixed gravitate towards me.
Okay.
I think it stems back to slavery and survival instincts. I think this is probably within conversations that we were having. Sometimes, go ahead, basic.
Sometimes I wonder, the same way dark women sought lighter men to procreate for safety is the same way light mixed women date darker because they craved that protection from the men they were taken from.
What's a deeper level? I wonder what he thinking as far as that.
I don't know. I've never thought of it that way, but that's just me personally, and it could apply to some people, but I don't know if I've ever.
They say white people are mixing, not even mixing, but more are trying to procreate more because they feel as though whatever it is for them, potentially.
What do you mean, like
maybe their races? I've heard like there's a fear of them feeling like they aren't going nowhere, but I'm like, I don't even think that's true either. Like, I don't know if that's a thing for them. Like,
wait, what are you getting at?
Some white people feel like, you know, like they're more or less trying to procreate more of because they feel like some people saying that they feel like they're
within their own race. You mean?
Yeah, within their own race. Like,
oh, you're talking about great replacement theory.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I don't think it's to be true or not, but
there's absolutely people that believe that. Like, the great replacement theory, that's like an alt-right like thing. When you see like trad posts and stuff like that, trad content creators, traditionalists, and all that other stuff, like it all filters into that shit. Like the red pill pipeline is insane. I don't know if anybody follows Crutches and Spice. She's a disabled creator on TikTok, a phenomenal person, and like somebody that it is so rare to see someone clock society the way that she does. I mean, she literally has clocked trends years out and just full blown it's come to like passion and shit. But more recently she's been talking about like these 4 pillars, these ideas that filter into the pipe, into like the alt-right pipeline, and how easily it does it. Like one of the things was competition and stuff, like combat sports and shit. The other thing is like gym, nutrition, and health culture. Those are huge things. Like people don't even realize the language that they use around talking about these things. Like it literally is just like pipeline stuff, even if they don't intentionally say it. But
yo, Shane, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, so much shit feeds into that stuff.
Welcome in. Right. Okay.
What was the next one? Ooh.
This one right here.
Ooh. Oh, today's conversation may plant the seed. Another podcast may water it, and so on and so on. It takes a lot to uproot what has been planted in you from childhood. I agree. Hopefully, things like this, conversations like this, podcasts like this can get the ball rolling on more people having these conversations. And hopefully through those conversations we come I don't think we can automatically solve it overnight, obviously, but like we were saying earlier, it's something that it can provoke thought and reflection on how we can do better to change it.
Right. I started this comment because this is I like this right here.
I feel like people want to validate their preferences by downing something else. I can see how that happens.
That happens all the time. They'll start talking. The moment they start talking about their preference, they'll immediately start talking about what they don't like.
Right.
Like, and it's like, we gotta stay the course. Like, what are you talking about? Like, let's stay the course right here.
You're talking. We were talking about how we have different lives and stuff like that, where people will be like, I only date white women, and the reason why you date white women is because of all the reasons why you hate black women. Like, can we just stick
That's
with
that whole point of buddy shit. That was that. The buddy shit was that to me. That's what it was to me. It's like, hey, don't date exclusively. I mean, don't date exclusively black men. All right. Here's why. And it's like, oh, okay. Now you want to tell me all the problems that you feel like is the reason why we shouldn't do this.
Were you in here for that, Marcus? For that, we were playing the.
No. He heard it. They heard the video already.
I came in at the tail end of the conversation.
It was this right here. I'll post up the picture.
I think Mike and I had separate takes on it, but I get why he felt that way. I think my take was a little different from hearing what he was saying.
Mike, you felt called out. Is that what it was?
I didn't think he was saying don't date black men. I thought he was saying open your pool of dating everyone and not exclusively black men, because it's harder to find. If you're looking for all these specifics and you have 1,000 things you want on a list, and you're only narrowing it down to one race, it's going to be less likely for you to find all of those things. And not saying that what he's saying is correct, but that's how I interpreted what he was saying. Like, open it up to anybody.
Yeah, he's trying to play.
That's not what he was doing.
He's trying to play the statistics game.
Yes,
but it's like 85% of black people that get married marry other black people. Interracial marriage is not this huge trending thing. Like, people prop it up to be, but the numbers just literally do not support that.
Right.
So it's like, what are you talking about and why? It just seems like you didn't do the most basic of homework when you grab this vibes only take, out of thin air. It's just weird behavior. And who are you making this for? I feel like people that make content like that, they might say that this is for a particular crowd, but it's clearly not. Like, it doesn't give that at all. If it did, you'd be more discerning with your approach.
Where are we? I see we got a lot more.
I'm just going down. Yeah, I'm going down. It's like, here you go. Posey said this.
Having preferences isn't that bad to have, depending on the situation. True. There's nothing wrong with having
preference. Isn't bad. It's just that a lot of people think they have preference, and it's not actually a preference that they have. To preference is a neutral thing, but the problem comes in when people try to substantiate their preferences.
Right.
What are they using to prop it up?
Yeah.
Like you can have a preference, like say for lighter skinned women, but if it's propped up by anti-blackness, well, now you have a problem.
Exactly.
You know, like
yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So Vanity says some people are willing to deal with fucked up personalities in order to be in a certain class. I think it depends on what's really important to you.
yeah, I mean, clearly the fucked up personality isn't that important.
Pretty much. Motherfuckers willing to take that shit on. An iron fist.
Adapting is also a part of being in a relationship. A person may not have everything you like or you're looking for.
So date a bunch of people that have a bunch of different things that you like and be happy.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I don't know, because there's 1 week of out the month that the whole male species, men, cats, dogs, and
Not
frogs
the cats
can
and
stop
dogs too.
can stop looking at.
You just walking down the street, you just hear like, oh, shit. It's that time of the month. Fuck.
White shirt. What is it? Is that what
He
we
said
said?
white
erasure. When we were talking
Oh.
about the great replacement theory.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
Okay. White people
White
are
people are
actually
the
the
less
lesser.
of humanity. They're only 10% of the human population, which is crazy.
Yep. They're about 7% of
Mhm.
the total human population. But
Damn.
it doesn't matter when it comes to systemic issues.
No,
There's
they
a
always
lot.
prop.
There's a lot of places where white people are not the majority. I mean, yeah, here in America, absolutely. But you look at places like apartheid South Africa, and that place wasn't the majority white, but
And
they
they-
had power,
Mhm.
and that's what matters.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. It is when they weaponize their preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the last comment we got so far. So, all right. This is the part where we end the show.
Mike, you
All right.
hungry?
No, I'm not actually. I ate 2 cookies. I ate 2 cookies and had some water. I'm
Sorry.
good. I'm good. I don't need nothing else. I'm lying. I'm gonna go get me some soup
I was about to say 2 cookies. You act like that did something.
and do what it do. But I didn't do what it did. I didn't do what it did. So
I mean, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna use that shit. Oh,
What?
It do what it do.
Hey, do what it do.
that shit sound old as hell. I ain't gonna lie. That's some old
Do what
ass
it do,
stuff.
young blood. You know what it do.
Oops.
Nigga, no, I don't. What are you talking about?
Of course. He said glad they won my
He not
debate.
telling you they were
I'm
those
okay.
big cookie pies.
No, I want cookie pies. It was just oatmeal.
The ones that be in the mall, the Toll House,
No,
the happy birthday. It be in pink or blue.
No.
Big ass.
Was it a
13-inch
vegan cookie, Mike?
No, they weren't vegan cookies, but they
Was
did
it
have
made
a
out
lot
of
vegan
chickpeas?
qualities.
I feel like a vegan cookie would make me mad. It would
So
make me
I'm gonna tell y'all what was in this
upset.
cookie.
Is milk chocolate without the milk?
Right.
Fuck. What is holding this together? Sawdust and banana. No, I'm good.
They had this. It's pretty good. This one was pretty good.
I saw
It's a
I saw a
healthier cookie,
post.
though.
I saw a post from this creator, and I actually kind of wanted to check out the shop. Not for the vegan item, but it was how she presented it that had me cracking up. And I know she was serious about it. She wasn't doing it to be in a joking way. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm from New York, and they got this vegan chopped cheese, and this joint is." I was like, "You fucking lying! You ain't gonna tell me no vegan chopped cheese is slapping. All the ingredients ain't what it's supposed to be. Have you ever had vegan cheese?
Ugh, yes, it's
No
horrible.
way. No way. That's
Really bad.
hell. You can't tell me.
Yo, Mark got a beef with vegan people. Bad.
I don't got a beef with vegans.
vegans. Bad.
All right, so look, my beef is don't prop up things to be what is not. Don't
tell me it's a
and
burger.
slice carrots and grill them and tell me it's fucking vegan bacon. You could just say it's grilled carrot slices. Don't try to market it as like bacon. Like, stop doing that. Come on.
Yeah.
If I bite
Tapping
into
no
this
capping,
drumstick
I'm
and this
making a note.
cauliflower, I'm stealing everybody
Oh,
in the
shit.
vicinity. I'm gonna show y'all what a crash out is.
Oh man.
I'm making a note. Tapping the capping. Mike,
Yo.
the cookies.
for animal cookie.
Unless it's chocolate chip, I don't want to hear nothing else. I don't want.
Hold up, it was oatmeal cranberry. What's wrong with that?
I guess.
I mean, oatmeal raisin slap.
That motherfucker's the
deal. Oatmeal raisin slap.
I'm gonna tell you. I don't know.
I'll die on that hill. I think I do think chocolate chip is a little bit
dying. When I tell you this shit, you're gonna be fucking crying. Tom used to get the oatmeal cookies with the icing on the joint, but it was hard as a fucking brick.
Yeah.
This nigga used to eat the icing off that bitch. I'm like, how the fuck does your teeth? How can you do that? Like
he scraping like rah. That had to been loud as hell. Just cookie dust flying everywhere.
Listen, he used to trash them.
And I love them cookies. You gotta open them cookies, let them sit for like a half hour. Let them get a little bit of staleness in them. Where they bend and then they snap. God damn. Bringing back the memories. Memories.
I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely on my big back mission back in the day. I used to take the motherfucking oatmeal iced oatmeal cookies and get some motherfucking ice cream and just chop them bitches up, and I was going to town.
like in the creamery with the
chopping them bitches up and then mix them together. But it was weird because like Tom was weird about mixing your foods and all the other stuff when we were younger. Like he hated when my sister would take the peanut butter and scoop the peanut butter in it and then go put it right into the jelly.
Oh, hell
with the peanut butter still on it.
That sounds trifling as hell.
But then
I don't blame them for being mad.
They both mash together.
Yeah, they make it, but when you got two separate jars and other people using it,
don't put the jelly in the jar.
Yeah, listen. My sister was a savage because my mom, I don't know why she got us this shit. She did the ones with the actual peanuts in it, and then my sister would dip it in the damn jug. So now the peanuts is in the jug.
Oh no.
No.
Back in the day, those were diabolical. Whatever.
That's diabolical because no way. I don't need remnants.
Them hard oatmeal cookies with some milk was fire. Okay.
Yeah, let them sit. You gotta let them sit.
Let it cook. Nah, fuck that.
I love when my fatness is endorsed by the community. Love it. I get them bitches down to you get like 5 rows of 10 cookies. It'd be $1.69. What? Ugh. You want to fight recession? Cheap ass oatmeal cookies.
And it's good.
That'll
and
get
it's
us through.
Fucking amazing too. Fucking amazing. Yeah. So we about to get off of here. I'm not hungry. I'm not starving.
I don't believe you.
I'm not starving, I promise you.
It's like Ron Burgundy. I don't believe you.
I'm not starving. I will be okay. I will survive. But thank you for joining, Mark. Appreciate you like always. Join y'all next time for some other bullshit. But I wanna end the show by saying I'm trying to play the outro. Where the fuck the outro at? I don't even want to talk no more.
Bye, y'all.
Outro.
Right?
Mike looking for an outro. I'm just gonna say bye.
Plan B, Mike. Plan B.
Bye.
Hey guys. And he was kind of beating all around the bush, and he said the reason was because really the person he has back home is his spin dom, and that she finally, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
But there's applying it, and then there's the actual action.
Right.
Like when you discipline a child. You tell
Keep going. And then when we do it, you gotta say, scissor me, daddy, like that. All right?
No, you know.
This is not the fucking thing to do. Like,
I think that's normal.
I got you, like, buddy.
Hey, help minutes later, I see a pizza slide under my door. No contact. Like, I'm good.
You see the pizza slide under the door with the hands, and your fucking hands slam down on top of it and grab his.
We have an initial physical type of what we like to see,
initially, because our eye is always drawn to something. I can see a tall guy, big and broad shoulders, and I'm like, ooh, nice. But if he talks to me, and I'm gonna be like, maybe not. Okay, so Mike, until we get the rest of the guys in, do you want to start with your first question for us ladies? First of all, are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
First things first, what is happening?